What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Dobr. Dobr. If you guys don't know Dobr, he's been kind of dominating the ladder in a way. He's got like 3 or 4 accounts in the top 20, in the top 10. I'm not sure where it is, but he has a very strong presence on the ladder at the moment, and definitely worth checking out his games and seeing what he's doing differently, getting himself some wins here. He's going up against the mythical player Yoshii. I say mythical because no good reason at all. Anyways, the player he's going up against, Yoshii here. And Yoshii here is playing Odin, and it's on the map Anatolia, and it looks as if Yoshii is doing my build. Yes! Yes! The build that the one build to rule them all. Absolutely insane. Thanks so much for the gifted sub, Hannah Rain. Appreciate you so much. The one build to rule them all. This build here allows Norse to get a 5-minute to 5:15 advance time with 18 fishing ship and 7 to 8 dwarves. The reason why having the dwarves are important here as opposed to any other build, I've seen other 5:15 builds, but the reason why this build is so important and in a way unique is that you get those dwarves, which allows you to very easily use the excess food that you get from your fishing ships, because the dwarves gather much faster on the gold. It's a very important thing to be aware of here, though it is seemingly looking like Yoshii making a slight mistake. He's got to do a lot of different thinking here as the Skraeling moving up to the top side of the map, the villager coming over here onto the wood, and he's going to get this next dwarf, go onto the gold, and then you just go up to about 8 villagers on wood, and then you put the rest onto food. Yoshii is very distracted here. You have to get this dock up very quickly, otherwise you get housed as well. So this build is slightly... this build has got a very slight weakness. So if you are aware of Norse players doing this, you can go for some cheese by scouting essentially which side they start the dock on, and then send something up here to harass this Ulfsark building. Now, the Ulfsark can actually build a house here like this. Kind of like you build that, you wedge in next to the water here, and you build like this, and then you build the house next to you, and then you build a wooden wall segment to block your Ulfsark in if you see anything coming to harass it. That's the way to get around that, and then your opponent gets very sad because they made a huge risk to send a villager forward, and you laugh at them. So just in case people are like, oh, what about this? You go, no, it's okay, don't worry about it. So house comes down, perfectly timed here, no idle villager time, no fishing ship idle time, and this is why this build is so tight, and you have to make sure you do everything very strong and well and good. Dobr, on the other hand, doing something very spicy. I haven't seen this before. Monument in the Archaic Age. This is going to slow Dobr's classical age down pretty severely, just on the fact that he's going to be slow on his temple. Though he is Ra, so it's a cheaper monument, and he might be able to get the temple up in time, though he hasn't started it yet. Normally, you're aiming for about a 5:15 advance time here as well. With Ra, as opposed to Set and Isis, has got the most consistent Anatolia advance time because you have the priest to empower. So you get a much more consistent timing, and you don't have to worry so much about like force dropping and everything like that. So we'll see how it's going to go. And not only that, you also get up the three docks on both sides and live the dream. So we'll see how this game is going to proceed. The temple is coming down now for Yoshii. Another dock over on this side. The fishing ships are all out as well. And Yoshii is probably going to be sending this. I don't know what you do with this Ulfsark, really. You can send it back home. You can leave it over this side to throw up a 3rd dock. You can go 6 docks here as well with Odin. You don't necessarily have to stop at 4 docks. It just depends on how you want to play the game. So we're probably going to see that. And it's looking like it's going to be a 5:30 advance time here for Yoshii. Just a little bit of misplay. And we're also seeing Heimdall from Yoshii. I don't mind Heimdall here in the slightest. The only problem that this is going to run into is if you're playing against a Set player or an Isis player who goes Anubis. So Heimdall here makes perfect sense because it's against Ra. There's no threat of a real difficult myth unit to deal with. The Sphinx is not really that much of a threat. You're going to build Herso anyways. You can just kind of leave them on your resources and live the dream. But Bast is out. One monument is up. Potentially a second monument will get thrown down here. And Dobr might be doing some really weird strategy with Sphinx in the classical age, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing here. I actually like this. I think this is interesting. I think this is cool. You go for Sphinx in the classical age to raid while defending on the water and into like a semi-fast mythic. Beautiful idea, really. We'll see if it works for Dobr. The only problem I'm seeing with this is, unlike on a normal map where Sphinx raids against Norse are pretty brutal, on a map like Alfheim, the Norse players actually only got villages in 2 spots. So you only really need to have 2 Herso on both of these locations to defend the Sphinx. But it is a bit of a cheese in a way, so an unknown strat, haven't really seen it, so Yoshii might fall victim a little bit to that one. Now, Yoshii's advanced, he's getting himself per scene. Per scene immediately is really, really important. If you don't get it straight away, you are normally making a mistake, especially if you are on 18 fishing ship, and we are seeing Dobr doing this one here as well. Villagers making their way over onto the wood line, and villagers coming onto gold. So normally we just spam villagers onto gold. We haven't seen a second Sphinx coming out just yet. The first Sphinx is going to be searching around looking for something to do. Yoshii, on the other hand, here is doing a very, very nice semi-fast heroic age. This is absolutely perfect. This is 100% what you should be doing here in this matchup. And he is going to be clicking up, and he's going to be going through Njord, and he's going to be building these longboats. He's going to sit back and defend, and then he's going to be able to push through on one side with the Kraken and the Walking Woods and all the units, and effectively win one side of the water. Very, very difficult to defend here. That strategy is very difficult to defend here. Now, Dobr does have an action option to defend it, though. So when the Walking Woods drops, he can go for an Eclipse. Sphinx will be able to take down all those Walking Woods. So Yoshii is going to have some Herso to back that up with. Otherwise, things are going to be a little bit sad. Nice little fight here for Yoshii. He does have the stronger longboats than the cabinets by 1 DPS, and that does actually effectively mean 3 DPS advantage. So he can just sit back and help and defend with these docks, and everything is going to be completely fine. Not only that, he's got 27, well, not 27 favor. Yoshii's only got 4 favor. I told a lie, but he does have that favor if he needs to. When he starts fighting, he's going to be able to get an extra Kraken or something like that. Not only that, he could even just go straight to the Mythic Agent through Tia here and have access to Yorman Elvers to really put the nail in the coffin. So there's the Kraken coming out, and Dobr very smartly here casting Rain to block all the god powers. You can cast... oh, no, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Hello? Oh, I must be thinking about Extended Edition. On Extended Edition, you can cast Undermine onto a dock as well and use your Walking Woods and take it down very, very fast. Is the Kraken going to be moving in, tanking a ton of damage there? Cabinet's trying to pick off some fishing ships here, but Yoshii is playing this one too well at this point. We don't see a market up just yet. Just going to be spamming out those ships, making some dragon ships as well. The myth units here for Yoshii sitting a little bit too defensive for my liking in their base. And Dobr here not yet advancing. He's got his armory up. Has he invested in Shaftmine? No, he has not. And the Kraken takes down some units here. He's going to be retreating back, not really ready to push through. There's the Sphinx coming in to this position. He sees the villagers here, and this could just be a brutal Locust that could be coming in for Dobr. He's going to start attacking these villagers. The Locust is not far off, but he would definitely want to cast it here if he could. And we do see an Eclipse coming in here as another Sphinx is coming through. That's going to block the Walking Woods even more here. And Yoshii, on the other hand, he still doesn't have his market down, but he's starting to really, really go very high up on the food count. His village is currently idle, needs to send them over onto this gold mine at this point, but not happening just yet. The one dragon ship going to be attempting to take down the dock. He could probably pull this back and stay out of range at the dock. I'm not actually 100% sure if that's true or not. One random Ulfsark is attacking the watchtower here, just setting bells off quite severely. Yoshii's still focusing a little bit too much on nothing here. Maybe the recorder game's bugged out. I don't know. Wait and see if maybe Yoshii is just AFK. There's no real issues. It looks like it's fine. There we go. Yoshii finally making those villagers, those dwarves move. And now Dobr Going to be moving around with these Sphinx. They're going to be looking for that Locust as soon as you can. 9 seconds remaining. The two Urso here do manage to take down those Sphinx there, as Dobr was not paying attention. He does pick up the Rock. The Rock moving at 4.8 speed now, going to be looking for something to do. The Longbird's coming through. We do see the Mountain Giant coming in. Walking Woods should get cast here as well. Yoshii just going to be checking to make sure that there's no priest hiding or something like that. Maybe he doesn't even need it. He can just take down these buildings here with the Einherjar and with the Mountain Giant. Now, one thing you can actually do here with the Mountain Giant Einherjar combo, which you might not expect, is if both units start their special ability at the same time, that special attack from the Mountain Giant does a ridiculous amount of damage. It's really, really good, and you should 100% be trying to make both of the special abilities go off at the same time. It's almost like they designed it like that on a purpose there, as the Rock is going to be coming in. Not many villagers here for Dobr to want to cast that Locust there. Yoshii here almost able to advance to the next stage. Lots of villagers on this gold mine. He does get the watchtowers through, but there's a very, very annoying location that these can stay in, and we are seeing villagers going to be getting split up here, trying to make sure he doesn't lose everything. The Dobr is 100% going to be casting Locust on this position here, and he does drop it down, but very, very good reaction here from Yoshii. He waits, he sees where the Locust gets dropped, and he just pulls away. One dwarf kill. That is very, very good there for Yoshii to be dodging that one. And not only that, he's taking down all these docks. Some Drakkar coming in to take these war barges down. They're very easily going to be able to take them down. The war barges don't do all too much to the Drakkars at all. Maybe he needs one more or something like that to make sure he wins this fight. Or he could actually micro the Drakkar getting attacked and dodge those arrows. All the ballista, but he can do that. Now Yoshii back onto the gold mine, and he has clicked up tier. He has clicked up tier. That gets him access to the Yorman Elver. One thing he could actually do here, which would be really, really smart. He's probably not going to do it, but he could delete this dock, and then that would mean the Yorman Elver would spawn on the top side of the map, so he could have a free myth unit up there, and then he could rebuild the dock over here and save himself a wasted myth unit there. But not going to happen. And we are seeing Horus coming in for Dobr. This might really put a bit of a stinker on Yoshii's plan here, because the tornado will get dropped nearly immediately on this town center and deny the Mythic Age. There's no town center coming up here for Yoshii. One thing that I like to do with Norse against Egyptian, especially Egyptians who have access to Horus, is get 2 town centers in the heroic age, but still trying to go to the next stage. We will see the Patsukos getting taken down. The tornado here being a little bit silly, but it is seemingly looking like the town center will get taken down before the Mythic Age comes through. Town center here going to be coming up, and now Dobr is going to be putting the pressure on to Yoshii. Yoshii's got a lot of resources in the bank, a little bit too slow to the Mythic Age here in this game, and he gets punished for it. Dobr hits that timing nicely. Dobr's going to have access to Avengers, two monuments already, so it's a second Avenger that's going to be coming through. There's no access to Frost Giants to hard counter them, so this is going to be a tough one for Yoshii to hold here as he's trying his darndest to get this town center up, but it does look like Dobr manages to push Yoshii off of that town center there, not getting his town center back up just yet. Very short on houses and infrastructure, even though he's winning on the water. The Kraken here taking down fishing ships and everything else nicely over there. The chariot archers here getting taken down by some walking pines, but there is Sheshonk is in. He will be able to take down these walking pines very, very quickly. That damage is gigantic there from the Pharaoh. The Avenger here getting pulled back. You see a ramming galley that gets taken down. Dobr has managed to rebuild his docks as well over here, as Yoshii did not clean those fishing ships up fast enough. As the unit's trying to come through and defend this, the chariot archers getting taken out. Dobr's got a little bit of resource in the bank, but not really much to spend it on. I'd like to see him grab a second town center behind all of this, but not happening just yet. Yoshii, on the other hand, still no town center. He's getting this town center up very slowly with just one unit here, making himself as many of these Ulsark as he possibly can, but there's still 2 Avengers he has to deal with. I actually think it wouldn't be a bad idea to make some Einherjar here for Yoshii. He's got a lot of favor in the bank, but it's not happening just yet. Thanks so much for the raiding party as well, Ulysses. If you guys don't know Ulysses, he's got a Twitch channel. He streams his gameplay nearly every day, and he is one of the best Age Mythology players currently playing. Definitely worth checking that one out. So go and check him out. It's Ulysses AOT on Twitch. A little bit of idle villages now for Yoshii, as he's seemingly going to get gold starved here, even though he's got a ton of gold in the bank. A couple of Olsak trying to get this one back up as the Avengers coming through, trying to get some raiding onto this location. The Herser trying to come over here and deny this, but this Avenger gets his special up very fast. 10 seconds for this Avenger. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of splash damage onto those villagers that just clumped there. I don't really know what Yoshi's best option here is. If he can get this town center up, it's probably going Ragnarok in this position, but he's losing so many villages that it's not going to be that useful at all. The Olsak trying to get this town center up, and they almost do. The Herser is able to get onto this Avenger, but the Avenger going to start walking away. 5.5 speed is a difficult amount of speed for these Herser to deal with, but he is going to continue to chase them around as these just absolute chads of units do so much damage to his opponent. Now, Yoshii does have access to the market. He does have a lot of wood in the bank, so he can sell that wood for gold. He doesn't necessarily need a gold mine at this point, but his town center is up, and what is he going to decide to do here? He's at 92 of 115 population, still trying to put pressure on. Seems like the fishing ships are getting idled just a little bit here. Marker going up in the corner for Yoshii. I think that Yoshii is going Balder here. The reason for that is because we see the marker going up, he's going to build a couple of ox caravans, and then he's going to attempt to break Dobr. But I don't know if that's going to be that easy here. All the gold is kind of forward, and no gold mines are secured. Gold has been finished here for Dobr, so he is actually on the map right now, in the middle of the map. And we might see this town center getting grabbed here. A whole bunch of Ulfsark are getting onto this one. These Ulfsark that have popped out are very, very strong in this situation. He would really, really like to have a handful of Huskarl as well, but no hill fort in this game here. He does manage to get himself heavy Ulfsark. Is he deciding to spend all his resources? Is he advancing? He's just decided to spend his resources. So not advancing, going to stay in the heroic age and see what he can do here. Making 2 mountain giants to make a really, really big push through Dobr's town center here. Dobr's main middle of the base where all of the villagers are. The villagers get pulled. The priests are here. This mountain giant getting path blocked, and he's definitely going to want to retreat away from this. Now, the difference here between, say, a Thor player or a Loki player going mass Ulfsark in this situation is that Lone Wanderer is in. So Lone Wanderer means these Ulfsark can get onto the chariot archers without taking any damage, and effectively they trade decently here. Does he have any Pierce upgrades? He does have himself Pierce armor as well. So these Ulfsarks, while you go, chariot archers counter infantry. Kind of. They do, but not Odin Ulfsarks. Not as much as you think. Now, if the Ulfsarks are fighting something else, the chariot archers will clean them up. But they're not. And these Ulfsarks are going to run through these chariot archers. You effectively need axemen against Odin's Ulfsarks. Otherwise, things are very, very tough. And we are seeing barracks coming down now for Dobr. He is making the Migdol stronghold here as well. And where did those mountain giants go? Did they run away? They're just here, sitting here. We are seeing the Kraken here slowly trying to take down this this dock. It's difficult to micro this perfectly and keep control of the Kraken, and he does see it, so he's going to be able to take down another cabinet over here as well. Do have the armory getting, the Migdol stronghold here getting undermined. It's going to do a lot of damage to the Migdol stronghold, though he clicked it a little bit late. Probably could have clicked it and prevented the Migdol from getting up completely if he saw it earlier, but he did what he could. So now the Migdol stronghold will get taken down, and Yoshii is so far ahead economically somehow. I mean, it's probably because he's gotten all his upgrades. He's got himself Salt Amphora. Does Dobr have Salt Amphora? Oftentimes you see players forgetting that, and yes, he has forgot himself Salt Amphora, so his food income is very low in this game, and this is allowing Yoshii to just absolutely carve through Dobr's units here. Dobr's not able to produce anything. He's got no gold in the bank here. He's being gold starved after all of that damage. It's absolutely insane here as chariot archers get taken out. The mountain giant going to try and move forward and take this town center down. And what really can Dobr do now? Dobr's lost gold control. He's got no gold left. He's got no momentum. He's got no food income. 9 villagers on food. 16 villagers on wood. He can only make chariot archers against these Ulfsark, which, like I've said, kind of counter the chariot archers at this point. This one lone Avenger here is kind of the only saving grace that Dobr's got, and Dobr's can't even continue making them at this point because he doesn't have the food to really afford them, and Yoshii is just going to continue to pile units on to this position, though he is short on population here because he doesn't have the food to really produce all of these Ulfsark. The Ulfsark continuing to make their way in onto this gold mine to take these villages down. The villagers do not have Skin of the Rhino in this game either, so they're going to die incredibly quickly here. As the Avenger comes through, does his little dance on those Ulfsark, able to clean them up very, very quickly. But so many villagers getting taken down here as Yoshii just says, I'm going to keep pushing until I can push no longer. And not only this market here, still getting some use. He's actually cut the market for this time being. The Drakkar coming out, trying to take down these cabinets. Yoshii continuously getting harassed on the water. This is really keeping Dobr somewhat in this game, this harass, because otherwise Yoshii would be full population here, I guarantee, as the villagers here getting taken down, the ox cart getting targeted as well. Nice micro from Dobr to pull that chariot away, allowing the Avenger to stay in here and take down all these units. We've got a mountain giant coming through to help out as the Avenger is able to clean up a lot of these villages here. Yoshii hurting a lot. I would love to see more of that wood sold, but it's currently 23 wood for 23 gold per 100 wood sold. That's not a good price there. Inflation has hit and everyone is very sad in this game. Dobr here still not able to get anything happening. He's also gone bast, so he can't even really make a good farm transition. He doesn't have rain, so the farms are much less value to be making. The villagers currently still getting picked off on this position as the mountain giant going to come over here and help take down the Avenger. The Avenger getting pulled back. I love that pullback. If he can heal this one back up, it's going to help Dobr immensely here. However, the Pharaoh getting sniped here, it seems, by the villagers, but does manage to stay alive here. And now we'll see the Pharaoh probably heal this one back up, I would assume. Nice play from Dobr, but the Ulfsark returning back onto this location here. He does have Skin of the Rhino now, but these are heavy Ulfsark. And while the villagers effectively have full iron, when you get yourself Skin of the Rhino, the villagers get full iron. They don't have that much HP, so it doesn't matter that much. And you can take them down nonetheless with all the DPS that comes through from these Ulfsark. And now we're starting to see those scary axemen coming out for Dobr. And Yoshii still pumping out those ox caravans, realizing no gold income remaining. Still has to sell some stuff. Maybe he can sell some food, take those villagers off of wood onto food, sell some food, get some more gold. Definitely an option here. Still trying to keep Dobr down while he's sorting out his economy. Dobr doesn't have a market set up at all. No real trade for him. He does set up a Migdol stronghold over here to control these gold mines. The cabinets continue pushing it onto this position over here. Longboats versus cabinets. No arrow ship cladding to make them heavy at this point just yet. As the mercenary cavalry getting taken down, chariot archers still getting taken out by these Ulfsark, as it's currently the only real unit that Yoshii wants to build here, it seems. Massing a whole bunch more Ulfsark here. Surely you just build farms. Build some farms, my man. A little bit sad to see none of them, but making some more fishing ships here onto this position. I actually really like that. See, Sultan 4 fish gather faster than flood control farms. I'm not sure if they gather faster than flood control winter harvest farms, but they definitely gather faster than flood control farms if you have Sultan 4. So it's definitely worth it to do that if they don't have to travel very far. So putting the docks down on these positions and taking that for himself is very, very smart here, I would say. A hill fort getting dropped here for Yoshii as well. He wants to start making some Huskarls, I would assume, as the villagers now jumping onto these goat. Could have used Great Hunt here, but no. Has that god power? Saving it for next game. And the farms are getting dropped now for Yoshii as his economy is starting to stabilize. Dobr, on the other hand, he's only building villages from one town center. He's only got 7 villagers on food here. All things said and considered here in this game, Dobr's score is only this high because of how many units he's killed above Yoshii. Yoshii is throwing away units to hurt Dobr's economy. So as Yoshi's economy continues to grow and he's losing out on the trades, he's still picking off the economy of his opponents. So he's still getting in front. He's still in front. This score is, I don't think the score is as close as it might seem here. And Yoshii is going to be completely fine here as he's now going to start making those Huskarl and completely ruin the chariot archers of his opponent here with those Huskarl, especially because they're heavy and everything like that. We see the Mountain Giant going after this Avenger. Super smart here. The Mountain Giants get the 100% bonus damage. Is that 100%? Does he not? Mountain Giants don't get a bonus against the Avenger, but they do deal crush damage as well. Do they? Yeah, okay. No bonus damage against the Avenger, but the extra crush damage effectively makes them completely fine against all the myth units, because myth units don't have 99% crush armor like human units do. As we see the Mountain Giants now going to be moving in to take down this Migdol stronghold. Villagers getting pushed off of that gold mine. The Axemen coming over here to clean up this this Huskarl, while the rest of these units are going to just hang in here and try and take these villagers down. Dobr here doing everything he can to stay alive in this game, but the army here of Yoshii pushing around, pushing off of gold, the gold mine on this position here, about to be running out. It's got 1,800 left. Dobr still doesn't have a trade route. Yoshi's got his trade route. He might even be thinking about getting a third town center fairly soon. I would love to see that. His trade route is very nice, though he's not in the mythic age, so he can't get coinage. So that's a little bit sad from him. He's finding himself over here, picking off the Axemen. Kind of very big armada of is that the right word? Armada of ramming galleys here. This is a crazy amount of ramming galleys from Dobr. I don't like this at all. Even if he wins the water here, this is 24 population or more invested onto the water. And I mean, Yoshii can just kind of rebuild after the ramming galleys get defended, get picked off if he wants to. The Avengers still doing their its darndest to get some damage done as Yoshi's running around the map, and he is now getting up this town center with just the one Ulfsark. And try and get that one up as fast as he possibly can. Huskarl going to move in, try and take down this this Pharaoh here first, as the mining camp does get taken down there by the hill fort. The Ulfsark going to be retreating back. The Avenger looking to get in onto this location here, as well as the Mountain Giant's going to try and come over here and deal with this. Smack, smack, smack. And what really does Yoshii need to do? He could try and get a side build on this, and that's exactly what he's doing there. Comes in, side build, prevent this town center from getting up. Dobr's still struggling for resources. Still 10 villagers on food, and he's building axemen and villagers. It's not good. Just buy some food. You just buy some food at this point seems to be the best option. Always buy food. Always good. Never a bad idea. As the trade route continuing, we'll see if Yoshii immediately retasks his ox caravans. We'll see how much he's thinking about that. Obviously, struggling for gold just a little bit. Villagers still happily doing their stuff on this wood, but he probably just needs to spam out a bunch of farms here as the raids on the water has really been I mean, I was a little bit nervous about it, but it seems like to me that this raids here from Dobr on the water have done more damage than I would have expected to Yoshi's economy here, and Yoshii now has to kind of work this out a little bit. Does he have irrigation? He doesn't even have plow. Plow is coming through, but nice play nonetheless by Dobr to get these raids in and really hurt Yoshi's economy. Does Dobr have his food economy here though? Not really. He's currently got idle villages everywhere, and he needs to sort that out fairly soon, I would say. I wonder why those aren't showing up as idle. It's a bit strange. Can't explain that one. Maybe that's why they're not popping out, because they don't show up as idle. Very strange. Anyways, it's an old game. What can I say? Drakkar coming through with the help of a longbow to take down some more of Dobr's fish economy. Just the continuous raiding on this map, on the map like Anatolia, I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite maps for that reason. You just continue to put pressure on. It's really hard to, in the late game or the mid game, to like secure your resources. So raiding is really, really important. You can't play super defensively on this map, like on certain other maps, like an Alfheim or an Oasis. So these sorts of maps really separate the best players because there's the most room for mistakes, the most room for punishing mistakes, and that's I think that's a really cool thing about Anatolia and water maps in general, which I think a lot of players, there's a reason why a lot of players don't like the water maps, is because they're harder to play on, right? Because there's so many more things you have to worry about. Also, I mean, Mediterranean aside, obviously, Mediterranean aside. Mediterranean, it's a brain dead map. Don't mischaracterize my words, all right? Onwards and upwards. It does seemingly look like Yoshii now has a very, very decent economy going. He does, I mean, he didn't sort his trade route out, so still only getting 22 gold on an ox caravan. He's got himself nearly 30, and in that moment, Dobr does decide the game is probably over. I think the only thing here that Dobr didn't think to attack, which would have really done some damage, is this trade route. If he sent an Avenger in, started picking off the ox caravans slowly, he probably could have really hurt Yoshii. But Yoshii too solid in this game. I loved the build. I love the semi-fast heroic. This is my recommendation. I do think that Norse pretty much needs to get a second town center in the heroic age before going mythic age here. Though, considering what Dobr did, I'll talk perfect play. So let's just ignore what actually happened in this game for a second. So, in my opinion, perfect play here is somewhat Egyptian player hits a 515 classical age, 18 fishing ship per scene, gets grabbed, and then they defend. They hit somewhere between an 8:30 and 9-minute heroic age. They hit a 10-minute 30 to 11-minute mythic age, right? And all of that. So that's the main strategy for an Egyptian player. So you have to, as a Norse player, you have to kind of play around that, because that's the strongest thing that the Egyptian player can kind of do. So the way you play around that is you say, okay, well, I have to get some damage done, so to slow them down. So I'm going to make some. I have to build Hersa to make buildings. So whatever, I have to make some units. So I can't go for a straight fast mythic. There is a way to get the mythic age first with Norse, which is an option, but the better option is to hit the Njord timing. So maybe Thor would do this, that straight to the mythic age and just take the blow. Maybe go Ragnarok at 9 minutes 30 or 10 minutes or something like that, crazy. But the better play here is to go for like the 8-minute-ish heroic age, Njord timing, clear out one side of the water, and then get to the second, and then go to the mythic age. And by then, the Egyptian player should already be in the mythic age. Which is what we saw here in a weird way. I think both players kind of mismacroed that a little bit. It was a little bit delayed if we check out the timings. But nonetheless, because of the strategy that Yoshii did employ, I think it's well worth it to grab that second town center first. Not necessarily to build the... up to 130 population, but just to make sure that you have a town center that's not going to get tornadoed, so you can advance to the next age to it. So if you take a look at the improvements here, we got an 11-minute 59 mythic age, and Yoshii was hitting around 12-minute 15-ish and before it got cancelled. So if you had a second town center, definitely could have afforded that before 12 minutes and had a mythic age. You probably could have even got two town center 11:30 mythic age if you macroed it perfectly. But nonetheless, didn't happen. Very, very good game. Great display from Yoshii of the current meta of Norse on Anatolia. And an interesting try from Dobr. Just as an aside, I really do think that this is an option here for Ra players. I would prefer to see Tar and Sekhmet. That's what I would prefer, because that brings the timing earlier. You go shifting sands, you can go villages, shifting sands, and take down the opponent's town center with a scarab, and then claim that for yourself, and you completely flipped the game on its head, right? I think I would be a real strong counter to the meta that I just described. So something to think about next time you see me playing Ra or Set on Anatolia. That might come out. Anyways, GG. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.